You may have noticed if you launched Brawlhalla this week that there is a brand new queue called Duel. So that's what we're going to be checking out today. I have no idea what to expect. First of all, that was quite a long queue for a casual game mode. They said a different 1v1 game mode each time. Okay, so this is what they're talking about. The first ever match that I'm playing here, my opponent is invisible. This is invisible. I guess I'm gonna, you know what? Secret strats right here. If we go into close cam, I feel like I'm gonna be able to figure out where they are a little bit better. Now this is Ghost Brawl, Invisibrawl, whatever it's called, and already a disconnect. But as you can see, you start out as an invisible player. I think if you wait long enough, you eventually show up. That's one of the game modes. I can't hit a bot. Now, the reason why I'm so confused today, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember this being announced anywhere. Again, I could be wrong, but I like to stay in the know when it comes to Brawlhalla news. And this is something that's completely passed me by. But I figured it was worth making this video. Number one, because I'd have to shave my head bald if I didn't. I made a bit of a promise, okay? I said, why do I have 5 stocks? I guess I'll figure that out too. Maybe it's like 300% damage or something like that. Yeah, I said I was gonna do that. Oh yeah, look at the damage already on this Jake. The bigger things I was working on are not quite ready yet. So I want to see how much damage just a standard Vrax 105. This is a side of Brawlhalla I really have not explored much. It's something that I, secret little here. For those of you watching this video, you'll be able to get a bit of advance notice. I want to try something that I haven't really seen in the Brawlhalla community. Tournaments that aren't solely based off of 1v1, 2v2 skill. Maybe something like gadgets only, sticky bombs only, 300% damage, where anyone can have a chance to win that thing. And I was trying to help them out a little bit there. I got 7 this time. Every video I make, it seems like I gotta talk about 7. Anyway, I was saying that everyone that's watching in Twitch chat, maybe even YouTube chat, I was thinking about experimenting and streaming there. Let me know if you'd like to see that, can participate. This camera is like messing me up. I gotta look at like the bottom of my monitor. I played this like one time after it came out. I remember Scythe being pretty insane. And that was about it. It was for a Jiro video of all things. Oh, and the health is like stocks. Okay, so I gotta get my hits here where they matter. And it seems like they retain yellow HP at all times. I'm just getting weapon throw combo non-stop. It's like I gotta lock in a little more. Anyway, the idea is that anyone could enter. Anyone watching live, everyone watching live. Last stock game here. I was gonna do this video until I lose. That might be a very short video. Okay, that's a rough position to be in that corner right there. Okay, this dual queue, kind of cool. Same game mode this time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's weird. It's definitely very weird. Also, Strikeout is still a queue, and this one is a queue now as well. So we got like multiple queues taken away from the unranked queue. The unranked queue is now basically the same as experimental, but they said they're gonna run experimental only sometimes. This map I feel like is a lot more interesting. It's a lot, I guess, more angles that you can run at, but yeah, there's also more space involved here. Look at them go flying there. I think the most surprising thing about this is it's just like an ordinary Wednesday that this came out. What is going on with this stage? Okay. Maybe I take back what I said about the map. Anyway, is it like ordinary Wednesday, and this just released? There wasn't any fanfare. There wasn't like a big, I don't know, media thing about it. It feels like adding a new queue is pretty dramatic. That's pretty extreme, and I know it's a big thing in terms of the coding as well, but I don't know. I just don't remember any news about this at all. And again, it could just be me. It could just be me. If I'm thinking back, and we're back to Invisibrawl as I'm saying that, maybe in the video where they announced damage numbers from the mid-season championships, that's where they announced this. I don't know. Like I said, I know it takes a lot of work to do these alternate queues. They talked about it before, like the eternal sports queues. I am really good at the game. The eternal sports queues were like a huge ordeal to even get in there. So knowing how much dev time it takes to do these types of things, you would think it would have a bit more advertisement, but I don't know. It's a shame because I think the idea is really cool. You could make a sick promo of it as well, and I worry that a lot of people are probably finding out about it through this video, finding out that there was an update at all. Let me know if that's the case. Let me know how you exactly found out about this, because I am genuinely curious. I just was scrolling through. Okay, why are there arrows flying across my screen? This is something I've definitely never played before, but I don't want to jump. I am scared to jump. Oh yeah, definitely. That did not kill me. This core is like my nemesis in this this video here. Anyway, shuriken are flying across my screen. It just seems better to stay grounded right here. I feel like I'm learning a lot about Brawlhalla as I'm actively playing this right here, because my understanding of the custom game modes is pretty ancient. It's like back when I used to play Basketball and Brawl Ball just released. Snow Brawl before DI was crazy. I am very intelligent. I'm always saying that Brawlhalla's casual modes need to be updated. I want more, I want more. And I still think that's the case. The party mode they showed off a number of years ago now was really awesome. And oh, I had to jump over. Okay! For those of you who are unaware, I've shown footage of this before. I can show it again on the screen right now. But it was pretty cool. It was like Mario Party, but using Brawlhalla's engine, Brawlhalla's mechanics. The person working on it, the primary dev behind it, was an intern. Uh-oh, I might lose now. Who was actually a pro player, no longer at BMG though. And oh my god, wait, I'm actually terrified. I'm actually terrified. Please die. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. Thank God. I don't want to get my facts wrong, but yeah, I do believe that Tybo at the time, who was at BMG, was an intern only, and he's a former rank 1 player who is now, oh, this is a lot of damage right now on the screen. Yeah, there's a lot of early stories like that in Brawlhalla that are really, really cool. Like the first community manager was like the first guy to ever make guides. Not a good start for me. Combat director is from the community, esports director from the community, and then the new esports director, now the esports director, like everyone's from the community, the producers from the community. I just sidelighted into that. Okay, big comeback time. Hey, I gotta sit forward in my chair. That's how it starts. That's also how it starts. You know, I'm really good at getting hit. This is one of my best traits as a player. So this game mode where it's like 2 hits and you die, quite scary. Quite scary. I'm not gonna lie, I panicked. Can you blame me though? Look at the damage on the screen right now. Okay, I brought it back. I just have to not get hit and not get distracted by my own talking. And I used Dust Down Sig. Almost got me killed. Never use Dust Down Sig. Lesson learned. Okay, I'm gonna get hit by this on purpose, and then try to dodge, and I was on the ground, so I dashed. We all make mistakes. Kind of a cool combo there. I got with like the edge of that downlight. I've gotten hit by 30 weapon tosses already. I'm looking to increase my stats, pad those stats up. Can't believe I'm not dead from that actually. I don't want to make this a last dog game because I know I'm gonna find some way to throw it. You know what's gonna get me there? Dust Down Sig! Nope, like never. Actually never. I'm 1 hit away. They know it, we all know it. GC Down Sig. GC Down Sig is coming. Why didn't I just kill? Oh, I'm a failure. That was it. So many times, that was it. Oh no. Luckily, the series is tied 1-1. I guess I lied about the video ending when I lose. I'm having too much fun. Here's where I redeem myself, okay? I'm not gonna lose a single stock. And then I can claim that it's fine. I just gotta be... 4 stocks. See, the thing is I didn't lose that stock there. The stock was stolen from me by the lava. It's not my fault. If you die to lava... What is this map? Okay, what is this map with this game mode? You see what I'm saying? It was highway robbery, okay? So, are they dead? This game mode is crazy. Okay, if I don't get hit on the stock, we can say that I didn't lose. We can say I didn't lose. We can rewrite history. History is written by the victors. Okay, it's not. I kind of stopped talking about the whole update and everything, and I'm realizing that maybe they didn't know where I was. I was so sneaky. Please let me. Please. Okay. I was worried I just did it again. I think it is nice to have something fresh, something new. I mean, of course it is. That's sort of one of the main tenets of playing live service games is they gotta keep updating, they gotta keep adding stuff. And I think, I'll finish this thought in the next game. I think we're starting to see the fruits of a lot of the behind the scenes work that BMG Brawlhalla has been talking about for a while. This might be another finish this thought in the next game. Oh, never mind, they're back. I didn't know because they were invisible. Yeah, so Brawlhalla has been talking for a while. A couple of years now, I think they've been saying, you almost got me with that, that was very sneaky, that the game is old. The game is very old, and they have to update a lot of the systems, which takes a lot more work than you would think, because they're having to deal with all of this ancient code, and then keep everything running for, you know, the millions of players that they have, not break everything. And so in order to add a lot of these highly requested features, a lot of these things that they've wanted to add for a while, they've had to go through and update all of these systems, and it's taken a while. It's been a lot of work. They don't want me to talk about this though. Wait, hold on. 2025 has really felt like the year where all of that is tangibly being made into features, and all of that work is paying off. And we've seen it. I mean, we've seen it all throughout the year from the very beginning. Chakram is an example, even. They were saying that in order to make 7 work with alternating weapon sets and everything, they had to add in all this stuff. And then, of course, designing a whole weapon around that is a whole nother story. But then we have the large player-wide things like skirmishes. Can't believe I got away with that. The new event center, damage numbers, all of that, you know what I mean? So as somebody that's been in the community from the very beginning when BMG was much smaller and these big features did take a while, like I'm familiar with that. I know what it's like to wait. So seeing all this long-term stuff that's probably been in the works for years make its way in now feels good as someone that has been, I mean, it feels a little weird to say this, but has been dedicated to the game and the community. I love Brawlhalla. I wouldn't be sitting right here chatting, doing this casual commentary if I didn't. Now, with that said, there are some problems. I think I've been more vocal about that this year than I have any year prior. It's not necessarily because of any decision that I've made, but I just felt like the game was at a big crossroads. And to be honest, I still do. I still feel like that. So when I bring up these qualms, these negativities that I'm about to bring up, know that they are a smaller piece of the grander puzzle. I think they tend to get disproportionately paid attention to. I mean, that's not even I think, that is just fact. But it's something that I think is less important than the actual thing. We're getting skirmishes, we're getting event center, we're getting damage numbers. All of that is more important than the negative aspect of them, but I still do want to talk about it because it relates to something I've thought about for a long time. Brawlhalla is really awesome. They do genuinely care about the community, whether you believe that or not. I think that's been proven to be true, and you know, devs themselves are very nice people, and they're receptive and responsive to what people want to ask about. And when they add community requested features, they get 80% of the way there, 90% of the way there, but that 10% that's missing feels very crucial. Also, I just realized that these arrows, they go through when you step on this pad. It's not random. I am very dumb. Same game mode back to back. I'm armed with knowledge now though. Anyway, I was saying that 10% that's missing is often something that feels very important. I think Canon Sarah's a mistake. Like for example, skirmishes. I think it's a fun idea. I mean, fun enough for me to spend 7 hours jumping off the map hoping to get a multiplier. But the fact that it launched and it was missing in-game trackers where you see the number of points per team and you see how many players per team, like that feels like a very critical feature. And to launch without that it's disappointing. It's definitely disappointing, and I would hope that by now it would be added, but months out and it still isn't. Or damage numbers. Damage numbers as a feature? I love it. I'm using them right now. I think it's amazing they were added into the game. I think at some point BMG even said they would never do it, so the fact that that changed because it's been so requested for so long, like that's amazing. That's great. But it launching with the UI that it has, you gotta keep darting your eyes back to the top right of the screen. There's not an option to have it hover over your head like the damage or name indicator does. And the fact that the timer had to be removed in order to add it, that feels like the 10% that's missing. By the way, if you've never noticed this, there's some specks of dirt on the left side of this stage. Enjoy. Okay, 3 times in a row is kind of crazy. Anyway, you get the idea. I mean, there's tons of examples like this where it's good. Just KO'd with Guitar and Light. And we're free. How many times I'm starting and stopping? It'll be a miracle if this video is listenable. The point I'm trying to make here is not that BMG is lazy. It's not that they don't know how to do their jobs or anything of the like, but that things often don't feel fully complete when they launch into the game. And I recognize that in saying this, there are, oh my god, I'm getting so juked. Of course, limitations that I, merely as a player, not as a developer, not as someone with behind-the-scenes knowledge, am not aware of, am not privy to, things that may prevent that kind of implementation without even more months of dev work. But as a certifiable Brawlhalla fan, I will admit that it can be sometimes hard to get excited when things are announced. I find myself exhibiting more of a cautious optimism than anything else. GC to get out of the way there. This, to be clear, is not a recent thing, not a recent feeling, not a recent decision, and it's not spurred on by any recent additions to the game or lack thereof, but rather, those all act as recent examples of a feeling that I've had for about 10 years now. This, I feel like, has kind of always been the case with Brawlhalla, and maybe that is a little bit of a bat signal. It can point to why, if it is a fundamental thing, then the fact that it's persisted so long, that missing 10%, makes me think that maybe it's a case of tempering expectations on my end. Acknowledging that Brawlhalla BMG, they're making an indie live service game, which is very, very different from most published indie games. While I'm sure they care about quality control, I mean, they have to. You can't be this passionate, you can't be this successful if you don't. I do think that there is an element that has to go out the window because they don't have the luxury of time. Time is always, in fact, against them when you're publishing a game like this. I am getting destroyed. So things being 80, 90% good enough to publish, quote unquote, in my eyes, whatever that means, is not maybe 80 or 90%, but maybe that's the only way it can get done because everything is opportunity cost. If you're not working on X, then you're working on Y, and any and all time you spend on Y is time you're not spending on Z. And maybe Z is the thing that keeps the lights on. Maybe it's the thing that makes the money. This is all stuff that us players really have no way of knowing. So I could be completely wrong. But I guess what I'm trying to say here about this weird update that I think is cool and maybe gonna be underrepresented because it didn't have a big announcement, or at least one big enough that I was aware of, and as someone that likes to stay aware of everything, feel like I probably should have known about it, has spurred on this whole thought train about expectations and temperament and the size of BMG Studios and 90%, 10%, 80%, all of these numbers. What actually am I trying to say? I guess I've just thought a lot about how I engage with the online world, the way that I look at things, the way that I treat things, and the way that I place value on things. It's very easy for me to get carried away and up in arms about, what do I do? About Brawlhalla, because I care about Brawlhalla. I care about Brawlhalla genuinely, authentically. And I think most people that are willing to engage with the community do. And I would also say that that sometimes is a trap. Online specifically, it's a trap. Just because of the way that negativity works, negativity bias works, that becomes really the focal point of everything, the negative side of everything, and complaining about everything, and how can this be better, how can this be better, they're so stupid, they're so dumb. And the more I get carried away in small moments, those small, barely noticeable moments, the more those moments start to take over my life, your life, all of our lives, really. Because small moments are what make up most of your day-to-day. I mean, it's called a small moment. A big moment by definition is a little bit bigger. And if my default state is to engage with things I see with a more reactionary flavor, I'm just unhappier. My opinion, even though nobody asked, is that there is an antidote to this dreary, brain foggy madness. This weird apathy that has infested my brain like a worm, and it refuses to be satisfied with anything. This solution, I feel like it's very simple, but it's also quite hard. It's a brief moment of awareness. I know that sounds kind of stupid, but I got away with that combo right there. So stupid things can work sometimes. 99% of our day is driven by ape brain. We're not actively thinking about it, it's automatic. We want to pick up the phone right after waking up, and we want to pick it up right before going to sleep. But one moment of brain expansion, sometimes that's all it takes. It's like a cold shock of water. You look at yourself and you go, is this really what I want to be doing right now? Is this really what I want to think right now? It could go for the thoughts in your head as well. And the answer could be yes. Do I really want to be picking up my phone right now? Yes. Okay, that's totally fine. But as long as I'm doing it with a little bit of awareness, a little bit of intention, then it does feel a little bit better. With just that very simple sentence, is this what I want to be doing right now? Is this what I want to be thinking right now? Is very powerful. That's some good stuff. I'll give you a tangible example of an automatic behavior. I'm caught in a loop and I'm not even realizing it. And then just one moment where I'm like, breathe in, I realize what I'm doing. It's late at night, playing video games, talking to a screen alone in a room. Is this a good idea of what I should be doing in this present moment?